tomorrow's workshop that we're going to have. Another thing is, once they ask us the questions, for instance, they ask us, you know, you guys oppress your woman. How should you respond to that question? If they're going to say, don't you guys oppress your woman? Or doesn't Islam condone violence and terrorism? Don't you allow killing of or murdering of innocent people, innocent civilians? Doesn't Islam allow that? How are you going to respond? You know, sooner or later you're going to be asked this question. And, you know, you have to have the answer for it. You can't just keep quiet or look the other way. Because, you know, it's not true. These are stereotypes that the media has put out there, that anti-Islam campaigns are putting out there against Islam. And you need to be able to respond to these things. Another question that comes up, Fox News, soon after 9/11, they showed the picture of the Quran and they highlighted the verse, kill them wherever you find them. Right? And, you know, there was everybody was asking this question now to the Muslims. How are you going to respond to this question? What do you say when you get a question like that? Inshallah, tomorrow we're going to be discussing this in the workshop. And these are one type of resources that we've gathered, these questions and answers. Another type of resource that we've gathered is how do we reach out to the masses, right? And this is not to be done by major national organizations. This is to be done by each of the communities around the country. For instance, your community here. What do you do to actually use the resources that are available to you, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with, you know, in terms of monetary resources as well as in human resources, and as well as the relationships that you have with the communities and the surroundings. How do you use these resources to propagate the message of Islam, to tell the people? For instance, you know, some of the things that people are doing around the country, you saw the billboard ads, right? Many of the local communities are sponsoring these ads. We train them, we impart that knowledge on how you approach the media companies. Last year we did some of the billboard campaigns and we received billboards for $0. Free billboards. You know, the only expenses there was the installation charges, but they were very discounted. A billboard which worth $5,000, we received for $1,000. How do you do that? We have this information and we're looking to share this information with you. Tomorrow, inshallah, towards the end of the workshop, we're going to have 1 hour of an interactive discussion, sort of a meeting with your team here, right? And if you want to get involved, then please do come to that meeting so that, you know, you can participate, you can contribute. Everybody has so much tremendous, expertise, capabilities, and resources. Dawah booths is another thing. There's a lot of opportunity. Malls have something called the community table. It is absolutely free of cost. It is free of cost, and you should make use of it. You know, all around the country, people are making use of it. You set up the table, you put literature about Islam, you know, you put some Qurans, and people actually come to you and ask you. In LA County Fair, which is LA Times Fair, sorry. LA Times Fair is one of the, most popular fairs that has the most number of visitors in any particular fair. In that fair, they set up a booth and they were distributing Qurans, and there was a lineup of about 20-30 people that lined up to collect their free Quran. You know, so these are all things that you need to do, and you know, people are waiting to hear the message out there. Inshallah, we'll talk more about this in tomorrow's workshop. I won't take any more time, and I'll just say that, you know, each and every person is unique. You have your own capabilities, you have your own strengths, so use them for this purpose, inshallah. Come tomorrow, have a sit-down discussion with us, inshallah, an interactive and, you know, detailed discussion, and we'll talk about how we can make use of these resources and make use of Islam resources for your local activities, inshallah. Jazakallah.
Our next and final speaker is Brother Khalid Griggs, who is a very influential speaker, and I encourage him to share with us his knowledge.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi. Alhamdulillahi nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh. بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum. Now, there are too many brothers in this audience, too many sisters in this audience for me to say Assalamu alaikum and I hear this faint, weak response. So please let me know that you're awake at the beginning. Go to sleep in the middle of the end, but let me know you're awake. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah. I'd like to first thank the organizers and also a personal thanks to Brother Muhammad Yassin Khan for the hard work that has been put into bringing together this very wonderful gathering of Muslims. But I want to mention something, and I want to use this as a teaching moment. At the very beginning, I want to give an example of something that, in my humble opinion, is dawah. And maybe next year, when Why Islam and Brother Tariq come to this town, we will participate fully in this particular event. For the last hour, from 8:30 almost until this moment, from 8:30 up until now, all around this world, there has been an event referred to as Earth Hour. This is the third year that millions and hundreds of millions of people all over the planet at a designated time and a designated hour cut off lights. They cut them off in a symbolic gesture that we are serious about maintaining and supporting the integrity and the safety and the cleanliness of this planet. It's called Earth Hour. And I say this and I point it out because you and I, as members of this ummah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, have the opportunity, as Imam Khalil and others have mentioned, that we have an opportunity and we should participate in global events. Last year, over 80 million Americans, all across this country, from red states to blue states, all over the land, over 80 million Americans say that we are concerned about our planet, and we will demonstrate this even in a symbolic way. Where were the Muslims? How many of us even recognize that this day at this hour is Earth Hour? Now, who has a greater claim to talk about preserving the sanctity of this earth? We are Khalifa fil Ard. We're the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in charge of this planet. Not just policing up your family, but making sure that these waters in the earth are clean and not contaminated like our oceans are with millions of miles of dead zones because of pollutants being dumped into the ocean. Nothing can survive. No plant life, no animal life, nothing can survive in millions of miles of the ocean. Now, who could stake a better claim? Who can give a better argument for trying to preserve and maintain the integrity of this earth than the Muslims?